What's good, everybody? We are back, and today I have a Lamelo Ball build for you in NBA 2K25. Now, clearly my player does not look like Lamelo Ball, but I did just drop episode 1 of my Bronny James 60-99 No Money Spent series, so that's why I'm still looking like that. Make sure you go check that out. But back to this Lamelo Ball build. It's going to be a tall guard, super high playmaking, shooting, really good layups, still get some defense. Lamelo's been going absolutely insane in the NBA. You know we had to get him into 2K. I mean, this dude's dropping 30 points every single night. I think this build represents it very well. Real quick before we get started, 99% of you watching the videos are not subscribed. It's free. Go down there, drop a like, drop a sub on the video. I've been dropping a ton of unique build videos and gameplay all through 2K25, and it's not gonna stop. That being said, let's get into this Lamelo Ball build. All right, getting right into the physicals on this build, I'm going to start out saying I am going 6'6" on this build. I know he's 6'7" in real life. 6'6" gets all the better dribble moves and just way better overall stats if you want to be a guard in this game. For what we're trying to do on this build, there's no benefit in going 6'7". I even tried going with a minimum wingspan. 6'6" is just way better for what we're going to want to do. And honestly, the difference between the 6'6" height and the 6'7" is barely noticeable. You're still going to look like Lamelo. That part aside, though, we did go point guard, 180 pounds with a 6'10" wingspan. I wanted to get a decent wingspan on this build while still getting the 89.3 for silver limitless range. It ends up working really well with our stats. Let's start out with the finishing here. All right, so right into the finishing, as you can see, we go with a 73 close shot, 88 driving layup, which is extremely high for a layup this year, and an 80 driving dunk. I stopped at 80 for a reason. I'll talk about that again in a second. But on this build, we are going to get gold float game. It's very good. It's a very Lamelo Ball type of badge. Dude throws up some insane floaters. He's very good at it. I wanted to make sure we had that on at least gold. 88 driving layup is going to get a silver layup mix master, and I have a 70 on most of my builds. It's extremely broken as long as you put on real player percentage layups. I have it on every single one of my builds. There's no reason to time your layups really. Real player goes in most of the time. Before I turned it on, I was honestly missing like wide open layups left and right. Real player's the way for layups. And with an 88, you're going to be making them at an extremely high rate. Later on, I'm also going to tell you guys where I'm going to put my cap breakers on this build. It's not in finishing. I just wanted to tell you so you remember, because there is a spot on this build. If you're skipping around, I do put my cap breaker somewhere that makes it a lot better. But back to it, the 80 driving dunk, I went for this for a very specific reason. We get bronze posterizer and bronze aerial wizard, but the big thing is getting the Devin Booker dunk package. If you didn't know, the Devin Booker dunk package is pretty much the best dunk package in the entire game for safe, lower rated dunks, that is. Like if you plan on stopping at like a 73 or a 75 driving dunk, you might as well get that extra 5. It's really cheap. And having the Devin Booker dunk style makes your build a completely different threat in the paint. Trust me on this, it's very worth it. And Lamelo in real life can still dunk pretty solid. I didn't feel like there was any reason to give him contact dunks or anything like that, but it is still solid dunks. And it'll help bail you out in a rim run if you need to. Honestly, the layup and dunk is really good, but that's not even the highlight of this build. Let's get on to the shooting. So on to the shooting, like I said in the intro, Lamelo Ball's been going crazy. He's been hitting a ton of threes. I wanted to make sure this build was a good shooter. So we did end up going with a 79 mid-range, 89 3, and an 85 free throw on this build. I might end up throwing the jump shot for this build in at the end of the video, so stick around for that if you need one. But if I don't end up adding it, I did also drop a jump shot video on my page with that included. Jump shots aside though, we do get silver deadeye, silver limitless range, gold set shot specialist, and silver shifty shooter on this build. Especially after the new season 2 patch, you're going to be able to shoot super consistently. Even if you don't end up putting my jump shot on, you get a ton of different bases, especially being 6'6". Pretty much anything you'd want to use is unlocked on this build. And with the solid finishing stats we get on this build, they're going to have to play off you if you start rim running. That's what's good about these taller ISO type of builds. Once you start dunking or start getting a few layups, they got to play back. You're going to be left wide open to get wide open threes. With a rating this high, you're going to be knocking down. Overall, just very solid shooting. Still not the highlight though. The playmaking's crazy on this build. Let's get into that now. All right, so on to the playmaking. This is definitely my favorite part of the build, and this is also where I'll be using my cap breaker, so let's talk about that. As you can see, we start up with an 88 pass accuracy, 91 ball handle, and an 86 speed with ball. So having these base stats gets us bronze bailout, bronze versatile visionary, gold break starter, and gold dimer on this build, as well as silver ankle assassin, gold handles for days, silver unpluckable, and gold lightning launch. As far as the cap breakers go, I will be using my level 40 cap breaker to put on my ball handle to get it to a 92, which will get us gold unpluckable, and it will also unlock us any possible drill moves we can get on a 6'6" build. You will have all of them. And then for the 88 pass accuracy, I will be putting my +5 cap breakers on that to get it to 93, which will bump us up to Hall of Fame dimer, Hall of Fame break starter, silver versatile visionary, and silver bailout on this Lamelo build. After those 5 are on and we already have Hall of Fame Dimer, I will be using my Max +1 to get Legend Dimer. Everyone that's been playing with Legend Dimer this year says it's absolutely insane. It gives shooters a massive boost. It's really going to help your teammates knock down way more shots. And with that shooting boost I talked about earlier that came with Season 2, making shooting quite a bit easier. Those two things combined together is going to lead to your teammates making way more shots in 2K25. But it's also going to lead to this build playing more and more like Lamelo, having all the good dribble moves, having the insanely high pass accuracy, shooting from deep, getting crazy layups. I'm telling you right now, this build is going to play exactly like him. It really does not stop there though. We still have defense and physicals to talk about, so let's get onto that. All right, onto the defense. And like I said, it might not look like much, but we do get a 74 perimeter, 73 steal, and a 60 defensive rebound. When you're looking at these stats, you have to remember you're 6'6" with a 6'10" wingspan. As long as you can get to the right spots, you're gonna get stops. The big thing on these taller builds like this that are super offensive heavy is knowing and having the IQ to play defense. With this though, I did make sure we got bronze challenger, bronze on-ball menace, bronze pick dodger, and silver off-ball pest. So you have the badges even if they are on a lower level to get stops. Like I say with all my NBA player template builds, change this up however you want, use it as a template. If you want to lower the offense and put more defense on it, go for it. I just felt like this fit Lamelo the best. With the steal rating, we also do get bronze glove and silver interceptor. They definitely toned down steals with the last patch, but they're still decent. 73 is a good rating and it's pretty cheap to get on this build. 60 rebound, I've talked about it in a few of my videos. I've been putting it on all of my guards recently. It helps the center so much if you have even a little bit of rebound rating, because if you box out the center or the center gets boxed out, you can grab the rebound. It really just helps you get a lot of animations that you wouldn't get if it was on 25. Definitely worth it in my opinion. Overall, looking at this, trust me, just do not sleep on the defense. You will be fine. And the main point is be good enough on offense to make up for your lack of defense. It's really not that bad. And if you know what you're doing, you're going to be just fine. Not too much else to say about it though. Let's check out the physicals on this build. All right, for the physicals on this build, we end up getting an 85 speed, 77 agility, 53 strength, and a 65 vertical. The point of this build is to be like Lamelo. We know he's not a super strong player, and he's not jumping out the gym. We got enough vertical to get the Devin Booker dunk style. That's really what I was going for. We got enough strength to help us a little bit on defense. Agility to 77 is going to help us get shifty shooter, which is a very important shooting badge. Definitely one I didn't want to miss out on because that was too low, and it's also going to help us move our feet on defense. We do have the 74 perimeter. Might not seem like much, but the higher our agility is, the better that attribute's going to play. 85 speed on a 6'6" is pretty good. You're going to be able to run out on breaks, leak out like Lamelo when he was in high school, which is definitely something very important to have on your build. I do it on all my little guards too. In rec, in threes, get out on the break, get easy buckets. Overall though, now you've seen how offensive heavy the build is. You've seen the defense that we still get. I think it's a great representation of Melo and also gives you guys something to make to play like him since he's been going so crazy in the actual NBA. That's all for the stats though. Let's go ahead and check out the build name we get and the comparisons. All right, and for the build name, we get a 3-level scoring playmaker. I haven't added the cap breakers to this build yet, but the name might change when you get that 93 pass accuracy. Overall, super cool build. If you stuck around to the end, drop a like, drop a sub on your way out, and I will catch you in the next one.